I want to talk about things that overstimulate me every single time it happens without any fail. And I am not talking about loud crowds or overstimulating environments. I'm talking about niche things that will never fail to overstimulate me every single time it happens. So, the first thing on this list is when wind blows your hair into your face and one piece of hair, one piece, goes into your eyeball and it, for some reason, lays completely flush onto your cornea. And when that happens, it's horrible. Not only that, but when you take your finger and you try to look for where the hair is coming from, which takes way longer than it should, and you finally find it, you try to peel it out of your eyeball, but it doesn't just get peeled off. It slides against your cornea before you finally slide it fully out. Oh, I hate when that happens. That's one of those things where when it happens, I don't just move on with what I was doing. I have to take a moment to just breathe because I get so overstimulated that I almost get angry. Like I get frustrated with how did this happen? How did my hair perfectly lay itself flush against the cornea of my eyeball? And why was I not allowed to just remove it without it sliding its disgusting, slimy follicle across my eyeball? Have you guys ever experienced that? My people with long hair or just long enough to get in your eyeballs, has that happened to you before? Because it is horrible. Okay, this next one is when you're talking to someone and you could hear a bubble in the back of their throat. And so when they're talking to you, you could almost visualize their voice coming out of their throat, but needing to almost squeeze its way around the bubble in their throat in order to come out of their mouth. I know this is super random, but I know someone out there also knows what I'm talking about because when this happens, I cannot focus on what they're saying at all. Sometimes the person that this happens to will notice it and they'll try to clear their throat. But other times, surprisingly, the person won't notice and they'll just keep talking and talking and talking. And I usually give them time to notice it themselves and clear their throat without me needing to interject. But if they just keep going and I know that they don't notice the bubble, I will stop them and be like, hey, clear your throat, my guy, because all I'm thinking about is that bubble in your throat and it's distracting me. It's overstimulating me because I don't know how to explain it other than it sounds like their words are squeezing by this huge bubble in the hallway. The hallway is like their throat. There's a huge bubble just taking up all the space. All these people, which is their words, are just trying to squeeze by to get to the other side of the bubble. I don't know how to explain it. It's just these are one of the many things that overstimulates me to a point where it upsets me. And I know it shouldn't matter and it's stupid, but it still frustrates me for some reason. But I mean, that's what being overstimulated is like, is it just gets you angry and it doesn't have to make sense for you to feel like it's valid, you know? And I also want to add, when I get angry or frustrated from being overstimulated, I'm not angry at the person or the people involved. I'm just angry at the fact that I'm overstimulated. That's it. Okay, so this next one is, oh my God, this video is so fun because I get to just air out all of these very niche things that overstimulates me. And I know for a fact, if I told other people this, they would be like, you're crazy. That doesn't make sense. I don't know what that's like, but I just know that at least one person out there will relate to at least one thing on this list. So this next one is when you smell a very strong scent of cleaning product, but you could still smell the dirtiness underneath the cleaning product. This angers me so much because it's like, what's the point, dude? You literally try to cover the dirty smell with something that smells super strong and clean, but you didn't actually clean the thing. And so now I'm smelling two overpowering scents, the cleaning product and the dirtiness underneath. And the dirtiness is like a combination of mildew and just like dust and all these other things. And then the cleaning product on top of it, it's almost like I'd rather just smell the dirtiness. I don't want to smell that you put in the effort and the effort didn't work. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like knowing the fact that they tried to clean it, they put effort into it, they put time into it, and it still didn't work. That is what sends me over the edge. Because if something is just dirty and it smells, okay, whatever. They didn't put effort, they don't care, or they were too busy to care. We all have those days, whatever. I'm not going to judge. But I'd almost rather have that than someone who put in the effort and it still smells bad. Oh my God, it's horrible. I remember coming across this a lot when I was touring apartments. And there were so many buildings where when I walked in and I was walking through the hallways or in the elevators, there was that smell of lemon cleaning product and then a very strong scent of dirtiness that they weren't able to get rid of. And I'm just like, dude, what's the point? Either clean it, like actually clean it, or leave it as is. But I don't want to smell dirty lemons, basically. It's so bad. And the same thing kind of goes for, sorry, this is so fun for me. The same thing kind of goes for trash bags that smell like perfume. There's something about it where like, yeah, the trash bag smells good when you first take it out and line your garbage with it. But as soon as you start putting trash in there, now you smell perfumed garbage. It's just, it's not masking anything. It's just overstimulating your senses. That's all. Also, if any of you relate to being overstimulated by these niche experiences, I need to know. You have to tell me. You have to tell me so I know that I'm not alone. This is a safe space. We're not going to judge each other here. Okay, so this next one is such an autistic thing. And it's when someone asks you, hey, how are you doing? The other day I was ordering food and they greeted me with a, hey, how are you doing? And in my mind, I'm like, dude, I don't have time to answer this question because there's a line behind me. And so am I supposed to just ignore your question? And if I ignore your question, I feel bad because I want to make this person feel acknowledged. But then I also don't want to trap them in a whole conversation where I'm telling them how I'm doing. But then why would they ask me how I'm doing if they don't want to know? And then on top of that, I'm like, okay, I'm going to just say good and then ask them how they're doing back to them, because that's how it's supposed to go, is I reciprocate the question back. But then when I do that and I say, good, how are you? And then they just like move on from the interaction completely and say, what do you want to order? My mind starts to glitch because I'm like, they didn't answer my question. Now I feel ignored. Did I not do this correctly? Like, there should be a better way to greet each other that doesn't confuse the crap out of me, because asking each other a question and for both people to not answer the question is just like, it doesn't make any logical sense. Because every time I say good, how are you? I'm like in my mind patting myself on the back because I'm like, Irene, you did such a good job. You passed this social test. You reciprocated. This is what people are supposed to do. And when they don't answer me with how they're doing, I'm like, wait, you're not following the script that people are making me follow. What's going on here? This next one is when you're eating food and you put all this effort into getting every single thing onto your spoon or fork so that you could have a perfect bite. It's like a little bit of everything, right? And when you go to eat it, it falls out of the spoon or fork, or it just falls apart onto the plate. When this happens, I don't know why it makes me so angry. It just makes me not want to eat anymore, because I'm like, I may as well give up. I'm not meant to have a good meal. I'm not meant to enjoy myself, because obviously this perfect bite that I put so much care into doesn't care about me. It's just something about that. And when I see it happen to another person, I'm always like, man, that sucks, dude. Like, that would have been a good bite. And don't even get me started when you try to push your ego and your pride down in order to form that perfect bite again, and it falls apart again. Damn. That would be an immediate grounds for crashing out that day. Like, that to me is things that happen that will literally make me just give up on the day. It could be 8 a.m. and I'm like, yeah, wrap it up. Nothing good is gonna happen today. Let me just check out. I'm being sarcastic, you guys. It's just, you gotta laugh at yourself sometimes. Okay, so this next one is when your dog is in the car with you and you're driving long distance, let's say on a road trip or something, and you hear them panting extremely hard. And for some reason, you have to match your breathing to them. When my dog is in my car with me and she's breathing really fast and really hard, for some reason, I don't know what it is about my brain, but I will find myself matching my breath to hers. And I'm basically hyperventilating at that point. And most people would not even know that this was a thing. They would be like, why would you sync your breath to your dog? I don't know. I don't know why my brain is the way that it is with certain things like this. It's just, that's what I end up doing for some reason. This next one is when you order fries and it's supposed to be loaded with a bunch of stuff. And this really stresses me out because I'm like, dude, once I get through the top layer, what's going to happen to the bottom layer? Not only that, but the top layer is almost too much. It's too salty, too soaked in flavor. There's too much sauce on there. And the bottom is like the opposite. It's devoid of any sort of flavor or anything. And it's just like really crisp, plain fries. I almost feel as if when restaurants have loaded fries, they need to spread it out on a flat sheet so that every fry has the same amount of sauce, toppings, and whatnot on it. Because the whole stuffing loaded fries in a bowl where the bottom of the fries just have no flavor is not it. For some reason, it just ruins the experience for me. You either have to put the layer of fries and then the toppings on it, and then put another layer of fries and then toppings on that, or you just lay it out on a flat sheet where every single fry will have little bits and pieces of sauce and toppings on it. But most restaurants don't really care about stuff like that. They just put the fries in a bowl and then put all the stuff layered on top, and it looks good in theory and you want to eat it, but when you actually go into eating it, it's just, it doesn't make any logical sense. And as someone who's like very particular about every single bite needing to be perfect, this is my worst nightmare. Like genuinely my worst nightmare is loaded fries. Okay, so we often talk about the frustration you get when you're standing in line and the person behind you is too close and they're impeding on your personal space, right? Like that one is a pretty obvious overstimulating experience. But what about the people in front of you who are completely unaware of the pace of the line? And so they're always behind on moving forward. That grinds my freaking gears every single time. This happened the other day when I was standing in line to eat at a restaurant, and the woman in front of me literally had like 2 spaces in between her and the person in front of her. I was also hungry or hangry. It's when you're so hungry that you're just irritable. You're frustrated by any little thing because you just need to eat. You need to get something in your stomach. I was already hangry. For some reason, this frustrated me so much that I couldn't even pay attention to the person I was with. They were talking to me and I was just standing there staring at the woman in front of me, the back of her head. And I was like, please step forward, move forward. The line is moving. You're not moving. Get off your phone. And I tried to like move forward a little bit and peer around her just to kind of non-verbally indicate to her like, yo, the line's moving and you're just standing there on your phone. And mind you, the line was long. The line was really, really long. We weren't in a casual situation. Like there was obviously a lot of people really anxious to get to the front of the line and get seated, eat their food and all that kind of stuff. And so there's an aspect of me that's like, read the room. Like we're in a situation where we're supposed to be very efficient. You get in line, you move through the line, you eat your food, you get out. But oh my God, that was so overstimulating every time it happens. Cause it's like, you have one job and that job is to maintain the same distance between the person in front of you and the person behind you. And this is how we all move through the line. And this is how we get through this moment together. And it's a simple job. Let's just do it right, please. This next one is when you microwave food and the outside of the food is steaming, piping hot, but when you go to bite into the food, it's cold in the center.
Come on. This is not possible.
Whenever this happens, I get so frustrated and overstimulated because I'm like, what am I supposed to do here?
This cannot be true.
I can't microwave the food again because the outside is already piping hot and I'm gonna make it even more hot, but also the inside is freezing cold. So do I just let it sit here and then have the hot from the outside seep into the inside? Or what do I do?
What is that there? What is that there? What is that?
Heating up food and leftovers is, for people like me, such an arduous process. Like, it's so unreliable. You never know what you're gonna get.
Unbelievable. This is not fit for human consumption.
It's either too hot, it's either not enough, or it's even worse, it's both. If there could be a technology invented that will perfectly heat up any food, no matter what it is, the outside is the same temperature as the inside, oh my God. I don't even care how much that'll cost. I will throw my money at it. Is it too much to ask for a technology that will evenly heat up food, no matter what it is?
Come on, Amanda. That's all you had to do.
Is that too much to ask for? I thought humans were smart. I feel like we should be able to invent something like that. Can we stop trying to invent weapons and just try to invent a better microwave or something like that? Can we try that? Okay, so this next one is when you're eating with someone and you could hear their teeth scraping on the spoon or fork. I feel so unhinged for saying these things. I feel like when you're eating something, you shouldn't be using your teeth to get the food off the spoon or fork. I feel like you should be wrapping your lip around the spoon and fork and getting it like that. It's almost like they bite onto the spoon. So you hear that initial clink and it's like, oh, please stop, please stop, please stop. Not only that, but you hear the scraping off. Oh my God, that's the worst. That is the absolute worst. Because in my mind, I'm like, what? Are you gonna eat the spoon? Are you trying to chew the spoon? Are you trying to bite the spoon? Please stop. And I don't know if you guys do this too, but when things like that happen and it overstimulates me and it angers me, I'll like almost have to reenact it. So I'll like bite my spoon just to try to mimic the sound that they made. And for some reason, every single time it pisses me off even more when I do that. But it's just, I have to do it for some reason. I can't just let it slide. Either that, or if it's a video, I'll replay that scene over and over again. And I don't do this because I like it. I do this because I'm so annoyed and frustrated that I have to hear it again and again. And every single time I'm like, why would you do that? Why? How does that even happen? Why? And I don't know why I do this. I honestly think it's maybe my brain trying to understand and get closure, because maybe that'll soothe me a little bit more than just being overstimulated. But then I end up getting even more frustrated. So I don't know. I could be odd sometimes, I guess. Okay, so this last one is when someone is talking and they have crunchy R's.
That's crazy.
Oh my God, you have crispy R's.
I have what?
And or whistling S's.
Then I use the NARS liquid blush.
I don't know how many of you tune into sounds this intensely as well, because mostly everyone I've ever explained this to in my life has said, I don't know what you're talking about. It doesn't make any sense. I don't hear it.
Crispy, creamy.
Who says that? You.
I'm telling you,
I've
people.
never heard of this before in my
Now that
life.
I've said it, you're going to hear it all the time.
Oh, no.
Please, you guys, if you know what I'm talking about, I need you to validate me here. I really do. You know when someone's talking and their R's are so over-exaggerated?
It's a creamy, crispy cracker.
𝗪cie𝗵𝗫 literally brought this up one time and she came up with the perfect words.
I call them crispy R's. Once I was like, oh yeah, can I have a graham cracker? Can I have a Krispy Kreme? That's crunchy. That's great.
A creamy, crispy cracker?
Yes. when someone does it, I have to repeat it.
And the same goes for whistling S's. Whistling S's is when an S is so freaking sharp that it almost sounds like they're whistling every time they say a word with an S in it.
If you don't know what sibilance is, it's when you say an S sound and it sounds really sharp, like a S, like it kind of hurts the ears.
So here's my skin prep. I spot conceal any dark circles, acne, all that. And then I use the NARS liquid blush in the inner corner just to brighten it up. And then I take this really old, gross NYX liner I've had for 2 years and I put that in. It's kind of hard to explain.
Not a lot of people have crunchy R's or whistling S's. But every time they do, I can't hear them, I can't perceive them, I can't be in the same room because I will literally spiral into a fit of rage internally.
A graham cracker?
Even though on the surface I look completely fine. Alrighty, you guys, I'd be curious to know, what are niche things that overstimulate you? And again, I'm not talking about being in a crowded room where it's really loud. I'm talking niche. I'm talking it's so niche that most people will hear it and be like, that doesn't, no, I don't know what you're talking about. But us in our safe community of neurodivergence, we will be like, holy crap, I know exactly what you're talking about. That is horrible. Please, this conversation could be so fun. So pop off in the comment section below. Hopefully some of you guys can make me giggle here. Thank you guys for tuning in on today's video. Make sure you take some time to regulate yourselves today. I will see you guys on the next one. Take care.